Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Helal Sheikh. I'm a former New York City Council candidate from Brooklyn. I want to thank all the community for supporting me. As a first-time candidate, I received almost 1,000 votes. I want to thank the organizer and committee member for putting together these organizations for our community to participate in the democratic process. I want to thank our Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and all elected officials who are here with us tonight. I'm looking forward to working with my brother, friends, and community members to bring about our community issue concern and assuring a seat for the Bangladeshi community as we work for democracy for every community. May we work in peace, and may we not be forgetful in remembering that in unity there is strength. Also, I'm running for New York State Assembly to bring about the vision of democracy for our community, that we may have our voice in the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I was a member of the New York City Police Department on the day of 9/11. And many of my Muslim brothers who stood on corners and protected New Yorkers, they were receiving phone calls from their family members and their wives who wore hijabs, how they were being mistreated and abused. And they were torn between their obligation of protecting New Yorkers when their own family members were being harassed. And I pulled those men together and I brought them to my attorney, and they started an organization. And they were able to fight from within the police department to make sure that their protection were not only in certain parts of the city, but every community and every group. That's the type of partnership we must develop. I am your brother. It doesn't matter if I'm in a Baptist church and you are in a mosque. We both want the same things for our community. And we want to make sure that we can live in a safe and free environment from being harassed by anyone. So I thank you. I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come here today. And whenever you need me, I'm one phone call away. You have great leadership here, and we have just begun to make sure that the city of New York is representative of all groups. All groups have a right to participate in this great country that we call America. Thank you very much.
Help each other, people that want to work for the community with their heart. Okay, they didn't think 10 steps ahead of everybody else on how to get there. They just want to help and make things happen. And those are the people you see here tonight. So a round of applause for people up here. Come on. You guys do it with your heart. Chavri, Kabir, Shah Jahan, everybody, you're all doing your heart. So tonight we're honoring Hakeem Jeffries, and I served with Hakeem for a couple of years in the Assembly. We ran in different circles. You know, when I get done, I go to the hotel, I'm done. You know, I don't go out, I don't hang out. He's out all night hanging out and all that stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. But when you see people, okay, when you sit with them, when you hear them speak, you know, a lot of things are said in our conference. You know, when we talk about a bill and what we want to carry and what we want to do, we do it behind closed doors. All of our Democratic Assembly people sit, talk about what bills we want to come up with. When Hakeem gets up, people listen. You know, there was an old commercial, right? E.F. Hutton, when he speaks, everybody listens. But when Hakeem got up to talk, everybody listened, because you had a man who spoke from his heart. You had a man who fought for his community, for the rights of his people that he represented, for the right thing to do for people. And so I want to congratulate you on that. Okay, I know I only have a minute, so I'm done with that type of speech.
Colleague Mike Miller, I am going to the City Council starting January. Looking forward to working hard. You know, I met Hakeem when my first year I came to the Assembly. I was a young man, still consider myself a young man, but I was 27 years old back then, about 2 years ago, and I have to tell you that Hakeem was one of my role models in the assembly. He's one of the people that I looked up to because he's someone that spent so little years in the assembly. In the assembly, you have to work really hard and find a way to navigate to become a shining star. He was one of the shining stars, and I wanted to learn how is it that you work so hard to navigate through the 150 members of the assembly and be able to put yourself out there to become one of those members that people look up to and able to get things done. So Hakeem, you know, it's a pleasure being here with you. It's a pleasure working with you. I know that in Congress he's going to be able to do the same that he did in the assembly and do a lot more. And remember, he only has 1 year in Congress. Next year he gets to run again. It's a 2-year term, so let's all come out and support him. I look forward to supporting you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I have a few citations. I'm going to call them up at the same time, just to save a little bit of time. First one is Rafael.
So let me first just say thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your support, because I recognize that I would not be standing here as a member of the United States Congress without the strong support of the Bangladeshi community in Ozone Park and in City Line. And so you honor me, but really I honor you for your tremendous efforts on my behalf. It really is an honor and a privilege to be here. And this is a city of migration and immigration. It's a city of migration from other parts of the country and immigration from other parts of the world. That's what's made New York City the greatest country on earth. And if you follow the history of that immigration and that migration, we know that at first the Irish came and they got involved in the democratic process, and then the Italians came here to New York City. They got involved in the democratic process, and Jews from Western Europe and Eastern Europe came and got involved in the democratic process. African Americans migrated from the South to places like Harlem and Bedford-Stuyvesant and parts of the Bronx and got involved in the democratic process. Puerto Ricans came and got involved in the democratic process. Dominicans came and got involved in the democratic process. Caribbean Americans came. And now people from Bangladesh have arrived. And your participation in the democratic process is just important to the future of the city as everybody else who's came before you. And we know, based on experience, that this is a wonderful community, a hardworking, entrepreneurial, family-oriented, community-centered, spiritual community that will be an important part of the continuous story of migration and immigration here in the city of New York.